Good evening, Temecula. It is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Time is 6 p.m. I am Vice Chair Catherine Sizemore of the Community Services Commission, and I'm calling this meeting to order. We'll begin our meeting with our flag salute led by our Commissioner DeGrave.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone in the audience, for being here with us tonight. We appreciate your attendance. And we will go into our presentations from our staff. We have an update on badminton from our sports division. We have Andrew Formentera.
Vice Chair, if I can just stop you, if I can take a quick roll call vote.
Roll call.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you do that, Willa.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Castro?
Here.
Commissioner DeGrave? Here. Commissioner Kingsburg?
Here.
Vice Chair Sizemore?
Present.
And Chairperson Hawks is absent. 4 present with 1 excused absence. Thank you.
All right, thank you for keeping me on the correct agenda. I appreciate that, Willa. Can I go to presentations now?
The floor is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we will now have the much anticipated presentation from our sports division on badminton. We have with us Andrew Formentera and Matt Dobbins.
Good evening, Commissioners. Well done on my last name. Usually everybody gets that wrong, by the way.
Thank
So yes,
you.
I'm Andrew and this is Matt, and we're going to give you guys a very brief synopsis of how the badminton program is going. So the badminton program started on March 31st, or I'm sorry, excuse me, March 1st. And right now it's in its infancy stage. It's in its, we call it the pilot program stage. So we just want to gauge the popularity and the demand and the impact it would have on the community. So on March 1st, we opened the doors. We bought equipment, we bought nets. We have plenty of equipment for if anybody wants to play and they don't have their own racket or their own birdies, they can come in. And right now we're following, excuse me, the models that we have for our open gym programs currently. So we have adult open basketball and adult open volleyball. And we're following those models right now. So participants that want to come in, they'll come to the CRC. Staff will get them signed up for a gym membership. And so they just fill out an application, provide the proper documents, and it's just $1 processing fee. And it'll last essentially a year. And for the programs, Temecula residents are free, and non-Temecula residents pay $3 every single time they come in. And so what's special about this program, though, is we also include teens. And so we don't normally do that. What we do is we split the courts. And so one side of the gym, teens are allowed to play, and then the other side are adults. So the teen side follows our teen gym model, which is all the teenagers have to do with their parent or guardian is sign up for a teen zone membership, which grants them access to the teen gym. And so we don't allow the two to play, teens and adults, just for liability reasons. We allow them to play and have their own time, and then the adults can compete with people their own size, essentially. So, yeah, so luckily, we actually have pickleball courts painted already at the gym. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we have 3 lines, and luckily, they are very similar to badminton lines. So all we had to do was just get some nets, plop them in the middle, and they're essentially the same exact dimensions. So everything worked out there, and we're going to go ahead and shoot it off to Matt to kind of give you guys an update on the numbers.
All right, so we have a little attendance tracking, really simple. You can see first week we had 17 teens in attendance and 24 adults, so we started with a bang. We were a little flooded. It's a 3-hour program, and there was a little bit of a wait time for some of those participants. So right now we're in the process of getting a 3rd net because we only had 1 for the adults and 1 for the teens. So we're trying to ease that a little bit. You can see the numbers as you go week to week have gone down just a little bit. There's a few reasons for that. One was probably the wait time, and then another reason would be spring break. I've been speaking with a lot of the participants, and they say that with The adult attendance goes hand in hand with teens, so if the teens are unavailable, the adults are not going to be coming. So they really like to involve their families, which is really great. For future plans, we want to continue to support the group that's in there. They're really friendly and really great people, and they're very welcoming for the rest of the community. We did have our social media team help us out with a post, and this is an example of it. They just spread the word a little bit, and we've been getting new participants each week. This week we had, I think, 4 new members sign up, and I'm expecting it to kind of be similar for a few more weeks. Our plan in the meantime is to reevaluate the program at the end of summer and see if our attendance is strong and if there's anything we can change.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off what Matt said, at the end of summer, we're just going to get together as a team and just kind of evaluate the numbers and see the impact that it has on the community and the demand, and see how we can, if it's good for our resources that we can provide. So that's pretty much it for us. If you guys have any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Great, thank you for coming out here tonight. Let's see if my fellow commissioners have any questions or comments. We'll start with Commissioner Castro.
I don't have any real questions. Thank you for coming out and let us know. What would be an optimal number of people to have each week? I mean, like, it seems like if you get 24, that's too many. 4 is probably not enough. Where is like the happy range?
No, I think the first week that we had 17 teens, 24, that's great. That's a lot of people that's being impacted in the community. So we'd love to see that. We did have that pickleball program in the gym that we had to kind of cancel just because there was like nobody showing, 1 person, 2 people. That's stuff that we need to reevaluate. But we want to make sure that the demand is high, just like it is for our adult basketball and adult volleyball. Just to kind of give an example of volleyball, sometimes there'll be like 40 people and above for volleyball. Basketball is during the day, so it's not as much, but oftentimes we'll have 2 courts going and teams waiting, so I'd probably say around 30 for basketball as well. So we want to kind of keep it around that range, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner DeGray?
Yeah, I had a similar question to Ernie's. What is the goal essentially? I know we know 30, 40 would be optimal, but are you just looking for a consistent flow for every month, or at what point do you decide we're going to keep this program going or we're going to shut it down?
Exactly, yeah. So consistency with the flow, like you were saying, is probably the best way to put it. We want to make sure our resources are going to the proper programs. So if it makes sense, if we're allowed to, with our staffing, with AC, electricity, with lights, because the program starts kind of early. It starts from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we just want to make sure our resources are going to the right places. And if it makes sense, then we totally are definitely willing to accommodate the community.
Thank you. Commissioner Kingsburg?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for mentioning the time, because I was going to ask about that. And then this was on Saturday mornings, correct?
Yes, Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Right, and that was the group's preferred time, if I recall. They wanted to get in on Saturdays.
It was, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, thanks for mentioning about how the numbers, the natural drop in numbers around spring break. And I haven't checked all the contract classes, but as I look for that pickleball class to sign up for, which I did in April, I noted there was no pickleball that first week of April, the second week of spring break for the district. And not that it's a kid's class, but it's just, it could have just been the instructor wanted to take that week off, but I imagine there's a natural slowdown, as you suggested, so that's understandable. So, and then I know also from previous presentation discussion that there are times of the year where this is taken or has been taken for youth leagues and other things. So
Yes.
you're clear to have them into the summer and see how it goes. And
Exactly. That's why we decided to do it towards the end of summer, before fall comes in. We
Right.
do have contingency plans if we want to, move along with the program, where to place them. We'll have some space for them. But yes, like you were saying, in the fall, we do have youth leagues that use all Saturday for their basketball games.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you for being here with us tonight. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the public comments. Willa, do we have any public comments tonight?
We have no public comments this evening.
All right, then we will dispense with the reading of the rules, and we will move on to our division reports. This evening, we have with us our administration team and special events. We want to welcome Gabby Bradshaw, Emily Sizemore, and Millie Avila. I believe this is the first time for all of you to visit us. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight. It's been a while, Willa. Do I just hand it over to them?
You can just hand it over to Gabby and Emily to begin their report.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle Bradshaw, and I work as a management assistant for Temecula's Community Services Department.
And I'm Emily Sizemore, and I work as an administrative assistant for Temecula's Community Services Department. We oversee the operations division of the department.
We wanted to provide an overview of how our team contributes to the overall administrative functions of TCSD.
So we have multiple scheduled reports that we send out throughout the month. Every month we send out an expenditure and PO report to each of TCSD's 13 divisions. The expenditure report includes each line item under the division's budget and its current status. So this includes each line's available balance, the percentage used, the funds that are currently encumbered. This increases awareness of each division's budget to keep our spending right on track. PO or purchase order reports reflect the current encumbered funds and the vendors that they're associated with. This also helps track where funds are allocated to and organizes the budget. Then our grant analysis reports are a bi-weekly report reviewing new grant opportunities for the city of Temecula as a whole. It is assigned by the city manager and is sent back to the executive staff across the entire city. So it can be funneled through the city's departments to inform them of beneficial opportunities that support their functions. We in Community Services utilize this report to increase funding stream awareness, begin any potential grant applications as soon as possible. Internal staff tracking is also updated bi-weekly and was designed to aid each division to utilize their budgeted staffing costs to their full potential. This report tracks staff hours worked and each staff member's current rate and title. This allows us to catch any potential overages that might occur because of staff changes.
We also like to offer and encourage trainings. Division binders are some of the training opportunities we do offer, and they were designed to organize and train each division by creating a sole source of shared knowledge. It includes all administrative procedures, operational guides, helpful contacts, and more, a shared brain, if you will, and it serves the function of one division. These are created by requests and are customized based on the needs for the team inquiring them. We offer Munis and Finance training for those taking on a new role, learning additional skills, or just need a refresher on procedures. Munis is a financial management software the city uses. This training includes how to encumber funds, checking on line items within each division, pulling reports to cross-reference internal tracking, and many other useful functions. Agreement training is very useful to our staff since our department partners with many vendors to bring events, exhibits, performances, and entertainment to the city. We review best practices when it comes to following the rules and timelines. This helps form a better understanding of admin's routing process and time it takes to start and execute a contract.
We serve as the administrators for the department's agreements and requisition processes. Agreements and requisitions are sent to the admin team's respective email groups. We have one for agreements, and we have one for requisitions, so that they can be reviewed, revised, and routed. The system is centralized to keep a uniform process in place for training and consistency. This also benefits each division by establishing a clear line of contact that they can reach out to if they have any questions about the process of setting up a new agreement or opening a new requisition.
We offer additional functions as well. A few additional roles and procedures we assist with are RFPs, grant writing, and special projects. Our goal is to facilitate or aid these projects at the support level that is needed. Typically with these functions, research and brushing up on protocols are required to ensure the end goal is accomplished with efficiency and integrity. For example, requests for proposals, or also known as RFPs, require great attention to detail to ensure a fair and transparent process. This process could take several months to complete and ensures TCSD is working with the most qualified vendors. We do not like to limit the special projects we take on and are always open to assist with whatever is needed. That concludes the operations administrative overview, and we are available for any questions.
All right. right, thank you. That was a very thorough report. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and turn to our commissioners and see if there's any questions. We will start with Commissioner Kingsburg.
Okay, well, thank you. I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say thank you both for coming, and it's good to hear more about what you guys do. And it's obviously quite comprehensive. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make everything happen that happens here at the city, and especially in this department. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner DeGrave?
I just wanted to congratulate staff for your earning accolades for the CPRS award. I know it's always wonderful to see that there's staff from Temecula out representing the city well. Congratulations.
Thank you. Commissioner Castro?
I don't have any questions, but you are giving me flashbacks to a previous life, RFPs and administrative reports and all of that, and thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Now, I will say with a corporate accounting background, I found it exhilarating. It was exciting. I did have a couple of questions, because of course I do. The 2 grants that you guys submitted, can you share with us what those grants were for?
Yes, so in December, we submitted for the county's Thrive Catalyst grant funding. We were requesting funding to start a new facet of our current internship-externship program, where it would have been called the Temecula Conservations Fellows, where we would be training up like a new generation of public works employees, conservationists in our area. Unfortunately, we didn't receive funding for that grant, but there is a 3rd round that will be hopefully opening soon, where we plan to reapply because we did make it very far into the review process. The other grant that we've applied for was in January. That is the California Coastal Conservancy's Explore the Coast grant, which is meant to take underserved populations to enjoy and explore California's coastlines. That one we applied for a program in partnership with our Human Services to take 4 different beach trips for 4 of the different populations that division serves. Seniors, adults with disabilities, children with disabilities, and then 1 big beach trip for everyone at the end. And we'll hear back if we've received funding by June.
Okay, thank you. And this might be a question maybe for Erica. Do you have any figure or anything you can share with us on like a percentage of our community services programs that may be historically paid for by grants, and if what's going on at the federal level is affecting what we're going to be able to do for the residents?
Yeah, historically, most of our programs are not grant funded, and that's for the main reason is that Temecula often doesn't qualify as a disadvantaged or at-need community for the most part. We do have a couple of census tracts within the city which historically have qualified, and the main program where we use a form of grant funding, sort of state funding, is our summer food service program.
Okay.
And our human services team has been watching that very closely. They've been in communication with their representative, I guess you would say, at the state that administers the program. And so far, they've been assured that there are no cuts to that program for the summer.
Okay.
The way that program works is we pay out of pocket for the cost of providing the meals, but then we're reimbursed not just the material cost of providing the meals, but also a fairly generous overhead, which covers staff time, labor, any transportation, that sort of thing. So last year, I think we had a $16,000 direct cost for the food and $31,000 roughly total in reimbursements from the state to cover like all the costs associated with the program. So that's the main one that we're really watching tightly. Emily has actually done a great job of putting together a database sort of tracking what grants have been defunded federally, which ones are sort of still watching. So she's actually been keeping her finger on the pulse of that.
Okay.
Emily, is there anything you wanted to add to that I might have missed?
Yes, as far as federal grants go, the one that comes to mind that I know we did receive semi-recently was the Institute for Museum and Library Sciences, I believe it's Collections Assessment Grant.
Oh,
where
that's
someone,
a good catch, you're right.
yes, where that pays for a professional to come in and assess your museum's collection to see which things are protected, which things need to be improved so that your collection can, like, be safe, make sure it's not deteriorating, and that you meet like ADA requirements. There were several other Institute for Museum and Library grants that we had planned on applying for later this year that we're unsure of the status of. And I think that's all the ones that were on our radar so far. Yes.
And our senior food programs, that is county level and, okay,
Yes, the senior nutrition program is through the county.
okay. And so that's not affected.
It is not.
Nobody's going hungry.
At this point, no.
Good,
So
good. I mean, that's
that's our
good. That's
goal,
important because
yeah.
I know those summer meals are, people depend on those, and I know our seniors depend on the meals that they get at the senior center, so I would hate to
Yeah.
see that affected.
And if you think about it, the origin of the summer food service program was that it was intended to be an extension of the school lunch program. So the intention was, schools out, are there public spaces like parks or community centers that can continue to administer that lunch program? So, given the size of the enrollment in our public schools, I'm sure we're not meeting all of that need through our summer food service program, but it's great that we can do what we can do with it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you, ladies, for being here with us tonight and giving us your report. I know sometimes admin, you might kind of feel like you're not the flashy, shiny department, but you guys are part of the backbone. Without you, the department, TCSD wouldn't be able to operate. So thank you for being here and sharing what you do with us. It is important. Thank you. All right, our next division report, we will move on to special events with Millie Avila. Yay, Millie.
Hello, good evening, commissioners. My name is Millie. I am a senior recreation leader with special events. I am sure most of you have seen me at events lifting canopies twice my size, but this is my first time having the pleasure of presenting, so it's a super exciting day. We kicked off the spring with our first art walk and gallery reception of the year on March 7th. Due to the rainy weather, we relocated the art walk segment to the Civic Center where we welcomed 216 attendees. Our artists had great engagement and the public enjoyed free painting craft. Then came sunshine and splashes, literally. On March 19th, we hosted our splash pad grand opening at the Ronald J. Parks Community Recreation Center with 30 attendees ready to kick off the sunny season ahead. In April, we were back at the Law on Main and the Merc for our second art walk and gallery reception, where the community came out to enjoy local art and participate in a free bookmark activity. Over the weekend, we held our teen egg hunt with nearly 300 teens hunting for prizes like candy, plushies, and board games. But don't worry, if you are not a teen yet, we've got you covered. You can join us for our Easter egg hunts, ages 0 to 12, at either Birdsall Sports Park, Temecula Hills Park, or Harveston Community Park this Saturday, April 19th at 9:30 a.m. This year, we're actually combining our Earth and Arbor Day with our Easter egg hunt at Harveston Community Park. Families can stop by informational booths like Mariposa Tree Management and Rancho Water to learn about sustainability and environmental care. To top it all off, we will be doing a tree planting to celebrate. And finally, mark your calendars for our expo on Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come meet your Temecula Community Services instructors, learn about the divisions in TCSD, and watch fun performances. You can also enjoy giveaways and free face painting. This is the perfect way to discover all that we have to offer. This concludes our special events report. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Millie. Appreciate what you all do in special events. I'm just thinking we used to have, it was Dawn-tastic. Millie-tastic doesn't have the same
I like the
ring.
sound of that. I'll let her know. I'll CC you.
Okay. All right, we will go ahead and take comments, and we'll start with Commissioner Castro.
Thank you for the report. I don't think I have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Commissioner DeGrave?
Yes, I have a question on the splash pad. I know last week we had a really warm week and spring break, a lot going on. How is attendance over there, and what is the feedback that you're getting from the community?
It has been absolutely bananas over there. We do have one really weird issue going on, which is the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, which is basically the state division of OSHA. they inspect our big water slide once a year on a planned date, and then they come back once a year on a surprise date. So for their planned inspection to get it certified and open for the summer, they came and they did it, and everything was fine with the big water slide. And then they saw this little tiny water slide on the splash pad, and they said, that is a water attraction, and it needs to either be staffed or run without water. And we thought, that can't be right, because it's like 3 feet tall. It's very
Yeah,
small. Can we go
it's
back
like
to
a
that
little- it's
slide,
like a little
actually,
type
and I'll see if it's
slide.
in that. Thank you, Jello. Oh, yeah, you can't really see it in there, but yeah, it's teeny tiny.
Yeah.
So, so we've been going back and forth with them, with the manufacturer and with the contractor that did the installation. And so far where they've landed is we are operating it without water so that we don't have to staff it all the time. And there's enough overspray going on because it's a splash pad and kids are running around, they're soaking wet. So far it's working, but it's just one of those random, like, well-intentioned things. And so Gwen Wilcox went back to the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, or DOSH, and she was kind of asking them, isn't there a size requirement for it to become a water attraction that needs to be staffed? And they said, no, for water slides, there's no height difference. So they're literally treating our 3-foot tall slide like our, however tall the big one is. I mean, 30-foot tall maybe, roughly? 30, so that is the craziness associated with the splash pad. But other than that, everybody loves it. It's super busy, and they're having a great time. So.
Okay, all righty, thank you on that. I am sorry, I'm just dumbstruck with this. Where was I?
We all are. It's just inconceivable.
All right, do you have any more questions, Commissioner?
Yeah, thank you, Millie, for the report. Appreciate it. And yeah, I know you're out at a lot of events, so I know you're one of those people too behind the scenes and out in front that are helping get those things done. So thank you for that. No, I just want to say, and I was able to get over to that splash pad grand opening, and a couple of my other fellow commissioners did as well, who are here tonight. And I saw that good-looking picture of us there, and I thought, hey, we're out there, supporting that event. And it's a very attractive and inviting facility. But that's a very interesting little piece that Erica shared there about some of the regulations and standards and that kind of thing. The other thing is just a comment on looking ahead to the weekend with the egg hunts and the Arbor Day. I think it's going to be interesting to have that Arbor Day kind of woven into with one of the egg hunts. And Arbor Day last year, I'd commented, was not highly attended, at least the first half of it. And so I think having those things going on together will be interesting. And I think we'll get more traffic and some of our vendors that are coming, et cetera. So I look forward to getting by there Saturday morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kingsburg. Erica, question on the splash pad. I'm sorry, I don't mean to harp on this one, but
Not at all.
I would have thought that would have come out in the planning stage.
So that's what we were kind of pushing back on the manufacturer and the contractor that did the design and installation, and they said they have never come across this before. So, and it is a California contractor, so I'm not sure if this is something that, my guess, and this is just a guess, my guess is that DOSH is not going around inspecting and looking for 3-foot tall slides to inspect.
Just the wrong place, wrong time.
My guess is it was, hey, we're here for this, oh, you have that. So we're still trying to kind of delicately see if there's an option to appeal. At the same time, we've always tried we've never had any fines for any of our operations, and we don't want to start. We've always had a perfect record, so we don't want to antagonize, but we are also kind of just looking to see, like, if there's an appeal or some way we can kind of say, are we sure there's no, like, minimum height for something to be considered a staffed water attraction, so.
Is there an element for appeals where commissioners can write letters, council members?
That's what we're looking into right now to see if there's a way to go about that, so we'll let you know.
Thank you.
We are all baffled by it.
It just seems, I'm just going to use a word, it seems asinine. I mean, that just blows my mind that that they would deem that in that way. So, all right, thank you.
No problem, thank you.
I will say I went to Art Night. I enjoyed this last one. I did notice new vendors, new artists. There were some new artists there. I probably spent too much money this time, because of all the new artists. So that was very, very well received. Thank you. Good job, special events. And, we have the teen egg hunt, we have the kids egg hunt. Do you have an adult egg hunt?
Not at this time, but we will run and circle back.
Okay, and I was talking with some of the adults at the splash pad ribbon cutting, and we do firmly believe that we should have an adult splash pad time. Just like maybe once a month.
We agree, okay? We'll
Okay.
take notes of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us this evening, Millie. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All righty, now let's move on to our consent calendar. And on our consent calendar is to approve our action minutes from last month, March 10th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve?
Thank you, Commissioner Castro. Do we have a
I'll
second?
second.
Second from Commissioner Kingsburg.
Thank you. I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Castro,
Aye.
Commissioner DeGrave,
Aye.
Commissioner Kingsburg,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sizemore.
Do I need to abstain since I was not present?
You do not because because the action items are public record.
Okay, all right, thank you. Then I will say aye.
And Chairperson Hawks is absent. The vote is unanimously approved with Chairperson Hawks absent.
All right, thank you, Willa. Appreciate that. All right, now on to our director report. Director Russo?
Yes, so not a lot to report today. The team's been doing a great job, and acting chair, vice chair, Sizemore, I just wanted to thank you for your comments to the admin team in particular, because I agree, they are often the unsung heroes in the background, and if it weren't for them, nothing, they keep the wheels on. Nothing would work if we didn't have them
If you
managing.
didn't pay the bills.
Yes, managing the budget, the procurement, keeping everybody in line, just generally making sure things run the way they're supposed to run. So, and they both just do an amazing job. So I'm super thrilled to have them both here today. And also, obviously, our events team, one of the hardest working teams in the city. I think you'll see them out there with all kinds of unpleasant weather conditions and hours and lifting heavy things and dealing with rude people. And they do it all with grace and great humor. So thank you for being here, Millie.
And they have a good attitude during it.
Yeah, they really do.
really do.
They have a fantastic, just collectively fantastic disposition, which I will try to emulate more, so. Other than that, I just wanted to remind you and/or let you know, if you haven't seen yet, that the item regarding the future of how the commissions will be handled with the city will be on the next council agenda. That draft agenda is not published, or I'm sorry, the agenda is not published yet. I believe that will be out on Thursday. Is that right, Willa? Yes. So once it's published, you can go online and you can look at the agenda report if you'd like to see the staff report for it. I've seen the draft agenda, which shows it as being the last item on the agenda, but I've not seen the draft staff report yet. So just wanted to let you know so you can follow along either at home or in person or, however you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for the next council meeting, the Community Services Commission is actually not on the dais because two other commissions, just the way they've laid out, two other commissions are on the dais. So the Community Services report with Dr. Hawks will be at the following meeting, which is May 13th. Thank you. And then, oh yes, we have 2 weeks in between because April is a 5 Tuesday month. So we have our 4th Tuesday meeting, then we actually have 2 Tuesdays off, and then we have our May 13th council meeting. And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Director Russo. We'll now go into our commissioner reports, and we will. Oh, you want to ask questions of the Director Russo? Erica, are you taking questions?
I will always take questions.
All right, go ahead, Ernie.
How are we doing for the harvest and boat for the summer session, summer thing?
For the boat rentals?
Yes.
Great question. So far, things have been slow so far this year. We anticipate they'll pick up solidly towards the end of May, as they did last year. The contract to renew that is actually going to be on the 22nd. Thank you. Thank you, Willa, for just keeping me on task with what's on which agenda. So essentially, when we first went into contract with the new provider, it was for 1 year with an option to extend for 5. So basically, because they were a new contractor, we were kind of doing a 1-year trial run, which we did, and it's been going well. And because we weren't thinking ahead, that 1 year would actually end at the end of the fiscal year, which is June 30th, smack in the middle of the summer. So to prevent having an interruption in services, we're going to go ahead and bring that extension to this current council, which would extend for 5 years. We have received some feedback from a couple of members of the community who really want to see the old pontoon-style boats. We've looked at options. The ones that the former vendor had there are no longer manufactured, and the nearest equivalent is roughly $20,000 each. So that's a lot more money than the operation is taking in. So they do have that one mini pontoon boat, which I know is not quite the same, and people are disappointed. And I feel it, those old pontoon boats were really nice. But at this point, we haven't found a economically viable alternative to pontoon boats, although we will keep our eyes out for that.
Wasn't there a lot of deficiencies with the building and all of that? Has that all been brought?
Oh, yes.
They
So
fixed
when we
all that?
closed, when we were between two, when the old contractor's contract expired, we had the building shut down for several months. I think it expired I feel like it was like November, and we didn't reopen until the next spring. So for several months, we had the facility down, and we were able to, renovate and take care of it and just generally get it up to snuff.
So it was the city, not the contractor, who was responsible for
Yes, the
bringing
city owns the
to
building,
code?
so
Okay.
we went in and handled that.
That was all my questions.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Castro. Does anyone else have any questions? We're good? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to the commissioner reports now, and we'll start with Commissioner DeGrave.
Yeah, I'd like to start off by saying that I was able to attend the senior Easter bonnet social, and Commissioner Kingsburg was there as well, and it was just a really beautiful event. CC and the Yvettes, I'll call them. I had no idea. That program is really phenomenal, and I had the opportunity to visit the garden, and the seniors were eating the food. I'm a very avid gardener, so seeing that they're eating the strawberries and the lettuce, and they're eating salad that they grew was wonderful. I also had the opportunity to stop by the museum and help with the judging of the third grade projects, which was really fun. I learned a lot about the Pechanga people and Temecula history. I had a question regarding that. In order for a student to submit a project, are they required to do a tour of the museum before?
That's a great
Is that a
question. I
requirement?
honestly have no idea. Has anyone else run across that? No, we will follow up and we'll find
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might just be a neat way to help encourage attendance of the museum, and then just based on the reports that were there, I thought they may have been able to get more information to include in their reports. And I think that's about it. I'm actually really excited for Culture Day that's coming up next month. My parents are actually from Cuba, so I'm gonna really try to stop by that one, and I'm excited to see what Temecula pulls together.
Oh, very cool. We'll be happy to have you. And then you can bring your chickens and have them run loose in the senior center garden
In my
and
garden,
do
yeah.
some bug patrol for us for a little bit.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kingsburg?
Thank you, Vice Chair Sizemore. Yeah, I wanted just to share that speaking of museum attendance related to field trips, I requested through Will and administration that in the coming months, we get a report, an update on field trip attendance year to year. And that sort of stemmed from the fact that I noted in the monthly email report we received on cultural arts and community relations that in March, there were 8 different schools that attended field trips to the museum, and I believe it was over 500 students attended in March. So I'm just curious. I get the feeling that things are continuing to spike over there. There's more demand at the museum, so I asked for kind of a year-to-year comparison. So that could be coming our way in the summer. And then, as Commissioner DeGrave said, we were both over at the senior luncheon event, which was very nice to be able to serve meals with Commissioner DeGrave. And, again, they just do a great job over there, and the seniors really enjoy it. I also want to give a shout out to Cassandra Ambrose. I stopped by the Down syndrome awareness event at Friendship Park and in March, and she was coordinating this the Spring Inclusive Social Skills Program, and just doing a great job with that over there, working with families and young people. I did get over and judge the local history contest as well. Juliana Hansen at the museum always does a great job setting that up. I did want to mention, kind of in connection with Commissioner DeGrave suggested, as far as getting people to the museum, getting people to participate. There were only 11 projects, I believe, I scored this time. Historically, there had been more my first couple years. So, and I don't know the spring break thing, the calendar and how that all shakes out. But it might be something for the museum staff to review as far as how we can get more participation, especially from, say, Temecula district schools as well. And then finally, was a Culture Day on Saturday with Chile. That is on my short list as a country, and South America is kind of on my short list to visit. So I was very interested to see the different exhibits and display on Chile. And being there, I was able to also see the new museum exhibit, the Confluence exhibit, which was quite fascinating. Got a chance to talk to the artist, Tony Marmarco, who was there doing some children's workshops. So a lot of good things going on. Shout out to our staff who are leading all those things, and it was a good month. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kingsburg. Commissioner Castro?
I was also a judge at the history contest, and I managed to leave my notebook at the museum, and they got it back to me, so that was very much appreciated. And they appreciated my scores. It's offset some of the less insightful scoring that was done from the other judges. So I also got my catalog in the mail this week, and what a great magazine. And looking through it, it's amazing that a town this size puts on so many events, and that goes back to the special events staff, and that to be able to do this many things is pretty incredible. And it's neat to see it all in one place. You know, sometimes online you don't see it when you're just clicking through, but being a boomer and seeing it in paper, it was pretty impressive to see all that. I was walking through Somers Bend Sports Park a couple weekends ago, and there was no soccer game going on at the time, which was unusual on a weekend, but there were 3 people riding their e-bikes on the soccer field. And I put in a non-emergency call to the police, but I almost went over and talked to the 2 guys that were taking care of the baseball fields, and kind of asking them, like, what do you do? What steps or what kind of information have you been told to do and not do? And I was very impressed that they seemed to have a good sense of what their role was, how they should approach things as a more of an educational thing. I think they're in a very difficult situation where they're trying to enforce a rule or a law, not wanting to see the fields get torn up. And I kind of had flashbacks to COVID, where people are trying to tell people to wear a mask, and here they are trying to tell people get off the field when they really have no authority to do that. So I was glad that they have been instructed on how to approach that situation.
I'm glad you brought that up, and that would have been, when James was here, that would have been good for him to hear, so I'll share that with him as well.
I talked to him before.
Oh,
and
good. Oh,
he
thank
told
you.
me,
I'm
yeah.
glad you shared that. Yeah, it's really tough, and even our Riverside Sheriff's deputies will have shared with us that it's very hard to enforce, because if they start to approach, the kids can, if they're on their e-bikes, they can outrun them, and they don't want to get into a chase situation where they're in pursuit, because then it's more likely to cause an accident. So they're also, even though they have a little more oomph in terms of their ability to enforce, they're also stuck sometimes with trying to maintain that balance between enforcing and also not causing an accident down the road if they get into a pursuit. So it's problematic. The city's done a lot of really concerted outreach. We're working with the school district, and we actually had a joint subcommittee meeting with the school district this past week, and e-bikes were topic number 1. So the school district's going to be rolling out an educational program that parents and children have to attend in order to get like a little parking permit for the bike so that they can bring it onto campus. So they're working on rolling that out as well.
Commissioner Kingsburg has been very involved in putting that together, or working with
Perfect.
them on that. But
Yes.
And thank
Oh,
you.
yes,
For
and
thank you for the
know,
posters.
You know
and-
all that. Here I
Yeah.
am telling you what you already know.
Well, I went to the safety briefing the sheriffs put on this past week, and they did a great job, and it was good to see parents there with their kids to learn about, what they can do and not do, and the following the rules of the road and that type of thing. So I know it's a big issue in the city, but I'm glad that the park people knew what they were supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Castro. And I wanted to thank Willa for sending out our reports to us this past week. Very thorough reports. We have so much going on in Temecula. It's amazing. And I had some questions, and I had appreciated Willa's very prompt response to getting those answers to me and sending it to me in a very timely fashion this afternoon. It was very thorough, so I have not had an opportunity to really read through it all. Thank you to staff for answering those questions for me. I did have a couple of things I wanted to highlight from our reports, just because I think they're worth mentioning. Wanted to congratulate staff on the Marketing and Communications Award for the CPRS Awards. Congratulations on that. It's incredible to see our city represented at those statewide levels. I noticed our social media marketing, our social media numbers, our reach was 344,000 people. That's almost twice the population. So our social media communication, our outreach is really going beyond our residents and out into the community. That was really, really neat to see. It was great to see that we had the special games put on with over 500 participants. And I also wanted to highlight our real-life heroism in our city with our lead lifeguard, Thomas Mann, receiving the Good Samaritan Award from the American Red Cross. So great job to our city staff.
We were thrilled about that, and that is not the first time that we've had aquatic staff that have, in real life, like in the course of their daily activities, used the training that they received through working as lifeguards to save someone's life. We've had multiple cases over the last maybe 5 years or so where that's happened, and it's rewarding to see, and it's really inspiring to see how these very young people are able to act in the moment and muster up that information. I mean, it makes me wonder, I feel like I might just freeze and kind of wonder what to do, but
Yeah.
no, these young people really, they've really done an amazing job, and we're very excited about that.
So the effects of what our staff does really goes beyond our city borders.
And the aquatic staff the standard for training for aquatics staff during the summer is very high. Like, it's mandatory 40 hours minimum training, but our staff, our full-time year-round staff, do an amazing job of going above and beyond what's required and having weekly drills and giving situations and, putting the team through their paces and saying, okay, you have this victim and this is the scenario and this is what you see, what do you do? And they are constantly drilling that information, and it pays off. I mean, these kids really, really know what they're doing.
Great. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.
And I have on the screen, I asked Willa to make a slide. I wanted to share this. I saw this on Facebook and on Instagram for the outreach and marketing for our museum. And it just caught my eye. I thought it was unique. We live in such a history-rich region and community, and I thought this was so unique, and it just tied present-day Temecula in with the past, talking about, we've always had traffic here, but it smells better now. And I love that picture where you're standing, you can see the Merc, you can see the Welty Hotel, you got the bridge, and I can just see City Hall at the end. And I was like, that would be a great photo to do a past and present side by side. So I really wanted to commend the creativity of our social media marketing department, and I really appreciated these posts. So I wanted everybody to see them and go, ooh, ah.
And just to fill you in, the social media team plans to continue this new program of trying to show the past and present. So thank you for commenting that. That'll give them.
Yes, I'm glad to hear that because we have, if you've been here since the 80s, you know the history and you value that history. I mean, it's just something that's just been part of the heartbeat of the community. And I think we've had so many people move here in the past 15 years, especially since COVID, as remote working became possible. We've had a lot of people move out here. I'd hate for us to lose that appreciation for our history and that understanding of our community's history. So I loved seeing this and seeing the museum staff get in there with the social media. Now, is this being ran by the museum staff, or is TCSD social media is it kind of all under them?
Sure. Yes, so TCSD social media under Mike Maury and Katrina Thorson. Everything is pretty much under them now with
Okay.
aquatics and the museum, and then our basic TCSD. The theater still runs their own, and the library runs their own. But we are working with their staff because Daniel Morales has all the archives and all these old photos. So we're working together collaboratively to come up with these social media posts. So together, but Mike is basically the one running the campaign this time.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciated this. I look forward to seeing more of it. All right. And it looks like with that, it is 6:50, 10 minutes to 7. Would you like us to sit here for 9 minutes? No, it's okay at 6:50? Okay. So then it is 6:50. I thank you, everyone, for being here in attendance with us tonight and for watching out on YouTube. Thank you to staff for staying late today to be here with us, and thank you to my fellow commissioners for taking time out of your lives and your schedules to be here tonight. And we will go ahead and adjourn this meeting until Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. here in council chambers.